What's going on, Battle Brethren and Battle Sistren? It's Ave Dominus New back again with more 40k content. And before the video starts, don't forget to like and subscribe, because I'm probably going to read every Black library novel that exists at some point in time. And I would love for you guys to be there for the journey. So, ready up. What do you get when you ship a frustratingly hardcore Sundari Inquisitor with a female Jesus allegory? You get the audio drama, Our Martyred Lady. Our Martyred Lady is the audio drama written by Gav Thorpe, who's written a few books that I've read before, not a whole lot. I was worried at first because I like the books he writes, but I was almost universally sure that I don't like the endings to these books. You know, he's infamous for his Eldar stuff, and I was right to be worried. I did still really enjoy this book until about the end. It's an audio drama, so I got to give double props to the voice acting team. The voices of our two main characters, Emma Gregory and Catherine Tate. Miss Gregory already voiced Inquisitor Vale for the Emperor, so it was just amazing to have her back. The book is basically about Ecclesiarch Deicius trying to repeal this law, or this oath taken by the Ecclesiarchy to never raise standing armies of men, the Fraternus Templars. This action just reeks of Goj Vandire, and if you don't know about Goj Vandire, let me just say this. If the Emperor is Space Hitler, then Goj Vandire is Space Stalin. Ever since that old fuck got beheaded by Alicia Dominica, the Ecclesiarchy vowed to never raise Fraternus Templars ever again. Inquisitor Greyfax is fresh from her adventures on Cadia, as she gets news from her spy about the situation with the Ecclesiarchy and gets thrust into the middle of the plot by a Lord Inquisitor, Trevane. He's got a drug problem that makes Scarface look like Zac Efron, dude. I never knew it was like this. Meanwhile, our best girl, Saint Celestine, aka Miss Salty Runback, got a vision from the Emperor, and it shows basically devastation within the Ecclesiarchy, and with the new mission to protect Deicius, her and Greyfax were put on the same path again, despite Greyfax's very bitter reluctance. I really enjoyed the plot to this one. It was a good amount of political intrigue that taught me a lot about the Ecclesiarchy and its relationship with the High Lords and the Inquisition, of course. Before I saw them as like this ultra-Catholic church in space, which they are, but most memes in 40k are never really 100% accurate. The book is carried by great conversation and exposition from the characters. I really enjoyed the action too, but you're forced to use a lot more imagination just because it's mostly gunshots and explosions. It takes some suspension of disbelief to believe that characters are always narrating their actions in the middle of a battle. That being said, the sound effects were really high quality. Also, the events of the book move really quickly. I wasn't always able to keep up, but the story was only 5 hours, so I feel like Gav tried to squeeze maybe too much in too little time. After all, you can't put 5 pounds of shit in a 1 pound bag. The voice acting is very top tier. Gregory, Tate, they both killed it as our main women, and I love the voices for Deicius, the Centaurian, and the Marshal of the Black Templar. There's parts where tempers flare and characters are just straight up screaming at each other. The tension's palpable. We don't really get this level of emotion in other books, I think, because if you think about it, it'd be kind of hard for Sir Jonathan Keeble to be in the booth yelling back and forth at himself. My only gripe is that sometimes Celestine and Greyfax's voices sound kind of similar, and it's hard to tell who said what between them, which is pretty annoying. The sound effects were really good for helping the story kind of flesh itself out. Sounds like Celestine flying or taking flight, or the psychic resonance sounds from Greyfax mind-probing people were really freaking awesome, and it pushed my mental image into overdrive. Even armor greaves clamping as they walk away, or alarms in ships as they slip into or out of the void. All of that is amazing. The next time I read a novel that's not an audio drama, I'll have to make bolter sounds myself with my mouth in order to get the same effect. Freeze, heretic! Celestine is a raging, righteous fucking badass. She gives me mad Sanguinius vibes because of the wings, the selfless attitude, and I feel like Sanguinius was a lot more questioning about Big E's motives. Celestine is just straight up faith personified, which can be kind of annoying at times because it's such a character like trope. But where the comparison kind of appears to me is like when she's not in battle, she's the voice of reason. She's not going to muster the intelligence to unravel a grand conspiracy by herself, but she stays level-headed enough to know when to press and when to back off. In battle, she's faith and fire, and I am the Emperor's sword, and her fury burns brighter than the Salamander's old paint scheme. She managed to surprise me a lot, and I like Celestine a whole lot more now. She's actually my best girl, so that's what we're going to refer to her as from now on. Celestine is best girl. Celestine is our sweet and wrathful strawberry shortcake. Then Inquisitor Katarina Greyfax is a bitch pudding. She gets shit done, and I respect her character. I respect characters that get shit done. However, she's such a stereotypical militant, badass inquisitor. I feel like being an inquisitor requires the ability to manipulate those around you, and she does this 100% by threatening violence and torture and throwing her rank around. In situations where I feel like she could operate a little bit more subtly, she just goes Queen of the Iron Fist on everybody, and it always leaves me thinking like, bro, what the hell is her problem? Who hurt you? Also, Celestine respects and tries to protect Katerina all the time, and all she gets in return is distrust and meanness. And with Celestine slowly and surely becoming the best girl in my eyes, Greyfax pissed me off even more. How dare you be mean to my Celestine? I'm not taking points away for the book for making me feel emotions. I just want you to understand how frustrating Greyfax was to me throughout this novel. As events transpire, their relationship does grow. So don't burn Greyfax at the stake just because I'm simping for Celestine so hard. There is relationship and character development there. The side characters are pretty awesome and really help bring the dialogue and story together. Each of my favorites comes from different walks of life and are able to tell bitch putting off to different degrees of success. I'm gonna start with Inquisitor Trevane because he was pretty interesting. He's not the most interesting. He only had a few parts in the book, the beginning and the end, but I really like him just because of his drug addictions. I didn't know there were so many modern day drugs that survived into the far millennium under different names. It's too bad there's no 40K weed to mellow out some of these Inquisitors a little bit. Centurion Longinus was definitely my favorite. The Custodies are pretty much, I've read the Siege of Terror, and Custodies can be, and Gilliman's series too, the Dark Imperium, and Custodies can be some of the more frustrating characters you find in a novel. However, Longinus was the man. And this is probably my favorite Custodians character in a novel, just because, well, I really freaking like him. He's the same Custodes that took Alicia Dominica to see the Emperor, and now that Ecclesiarch Decius is fucking up again, he's back to give the girls some of his golden boy advice, lend them their spear, / bolter. He does that a great job of keeping Greyfax in line too. They have some great dialogue. Now, Marshal Guardshelm, is it Godshelm or Guardshelm? I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to look it up. I think it's Godshelm though. He allied with the girls because the Black Templars never turned down the opportunity to purge with the boys. I don't think he's actually terribly interesting overall, but I have a type of perception in my head about the Black Templar, which he supports through his militarism, but he showed me another side with his patience with Greyfax. They also have one of my favorite screen matches in the novel too. I love it. Canoness Sabrina was also sick. I don't want to give away too much about her character arc because I think finding out about her was just so much fun, really. Her dialogue with Celestine was really nice. It was about what their capabilities and responsibilities are and what Celestine could accomplish if she weren't so damn humble. It seems my girl doesn't want political power. She just sees herself as a tool or a weapon. Very typical of the Emperor's followers. The villain aspect of this book is kind of underwhelming. On some levels, Decius is kind of the main villain, but he's kind of not, because he's not villainously evil. He's just kind of a dumbass. The Alpha Legion are here, but they don't have any named characters or dialogue. I'm still glad they show up. The Chaos Space Marines are my favorite faction, so it's good to see my boys are still trolling the galaxy. On the other hand, Tzeentch is Slick the villain, but once again, that's like saying that the Tornado was the villain of the Twister. Like, it's man versus nature. The ending was only okay. Some weird chaos stuff happened to Celestine, and an ass pull was utilized. The theme of the whole ending is about self-sacrifice, but it just didn't click or make much sense to me. I'm not mad, but when the writers don't stick the landing, it takes away from the rest of the book a little bit. Also, the last hour of the book is not part of the story. It's interviews with Gab Thorpe and the voice actresses, which I enjoyed, but they could have used that time to better wrap up the ending, in my opinion. I give our Martyred Lady 8 out of 10 Greyfax hats. Great plot, characters, sounds, and music. But tough to distinguish between Emma and Catherine, and that lackluster ending is just oof. So that was the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed my review of Our Martyred Lady. Don't forget to like and subscribe because we have more content coming soon. I got a comment on a video previously, and it asked if I was going to do The First and Only. So that's actually a book I haven't read, and now I have to do it. So expect First and Only review right around the corner after I finish it. All right, you guys. Ave Dominus Noob saying Ave Dominus Nox.